Over the past 31 years, I've had the joy of traveling repeatedly to many corners of this vast subcontinent that is India. It is amazing to see how landscapes, culture, food, music, dances, and even languages change every few hundred kilometers that you drive. You see the highest mountains of the world, great seas, bountiful rivers, and best of all, a people whose thoughts and heritage go back a few thousand years. Join us on an enthralling journey. I am traveling again across the whole of India to bring you spectacular India. It is a spectacle of nature at its grandest that we see here. The rugged mountains reach for the skies. This high-altitude cold desert has a startling variety of landscapes which vary in altitude from 10,000 feet to over 20,000 feet. Life is difficult in this harsh and inhospitable land. There are parts of Ladakh and Spiti which are very isolated even today. For more than 6 months of the year, the high mountain passes are snow-bound and the remote valley of Zanskar is cut off from the rest of the world. During that time, it is only along the frozen Zanskar river that the people are able to walk and come to the Leh district to be in touch with the world.
The high mountain passes which connect the valley of Spiti to the rest of the world remain snowbound for half the year. This makes Spiti one of the most isolated regions of the Trans-Himalayas. The culture of this region is steeped in the compassion of the Buddhist faith. There are high-altitude pastures which have offered a home to nomadic settlers over the centuries. The Brukpas, for instance, are Aryan tribes who made Ladakh their home many centuries ago. They continue their ancient customs and traditions, nurtured in the seclusion of the high mountains. The Trans-Himalayas have been a crucible of cultures since times immemorial. Caravans passed through Ladakh on the trade routes in ancient times. Leh was on an artery of the routes which connected China to the lands of the Mediterranean. Along with commerce, there was the constant flow of cultural and artistic influences which traveled to Ladakh in times gone by. Over the centuries, philosophic ideas came here again and again from the eastern plains of India and from Kashmir.
We are at Mulbek, 35 kilometers southeast of Kargil. This is on the ancient trade route which connected Kashmir to Leh in Ladakh. In the 8th and 9th centuries, 3 such colossal Maitreya Buddha statues, each more than 20 feet tall, were made on this trade route, marking the movement of Buddhist culture and Kashmiri art to Ladakh. These Maitreya figures also continue the tradition of colossal Buddhas, which was first seen in the mid-5th century in the Kanheri caves of Western India. It was seen a little later in the Buddhist caves of Ajanta and in the Hindu caves at Elephanta. The tradition was later carried forward here in Ladakh, in Bamiyan in Afghanistan, in China and in Japan. We see here the artistic style of Kashmir in the 8th and 9th centuries.
In the early time, it is said that some 51 or 53 great Indian scholars and Pandits have been invited into Tibet. Their purpose was translation, preaching Buddhism, teaching the Tibetans. In the second phase of development of Buddhism, when it took place after 9th century, till it is of the something like 13th, 14th century, he says something like 120 Indian scholars were invited to Tibet.
Buddhism arrived in Ladakh very early. The Sani Stupa in Zanskar is believed to have been made by the Emperor Kanishk in the 1st century AD. The first great diffusion of Buddhism here was when Guru Padmasambhava swept across the Trans-Himalayas, establishing Buddhism in the 8th century. The great Guru cleansed the land of evil spirits with his cham, or masked ritual dance. This sacred dance is performed even today to keep the land pure for the faith to prosper. Here, in the cham at the Hemis monastery, the monks are transformed into benign and wrathful deities.
Just a little southeast of Leh, next to the Sheh Palace, are these incised rock carvings of 5 Dhyani Buddhas. With their typical crowns and the lions made below them, these are typical of the art of Kashmir of around the time of Guru Padmasambhava in the 8th century.
At the end of the 10th century, a great revival of Buddhism occurred. This is known as the second great diffusion of Buddhism in the Trans-Himalayas. In this period, 108 monasteries are believed to have been constructed by King Yeshe O. This grand project was supervised by Rinchen Zangpo, who is also known as Lhotsawa, or the Great Translator. This chain of monastic temples was built right across Ladakh, Ladakh, Spiti, Kinnaur and Western Tibet. The period of the making of the monasteries of Rinchen Zangpo is enshrined in the memory of the people as a magical time. They believe that the Great Translator created each of the beautiful temples in the space of only one night. The villagers awoke in the morning to see a new temple. The temples of Alchi, Mangyu and Sumda are believed to have been made in the time of Rinchen Zangpo. They are made in fertile pockets and river valleys of the Leh district and have close similarities to each other. It was believed that a pilgrimage to all three in a single day would lead to instant salvation. The paintings on the walls of Alchi belong to the period of the second great diffusion of Buddhism. These are recognized to be among the finest paintings of the art of the world. In the vast and bleak desert lands of the Trans-Himalayas, these temples are like an oasis of color. One enters a world of graceful forms and joyous expression. The worshipper is transported through the lilting grace of these paintings to a realm far away from the cares and confusion of the material world. In the rugged landscape of Ladakh, the people live in deep harmony with nature. Their monasteries or gompas symbolize their religious view of life.
We are here at the Phyang Monastery, west of Leh, about 22 kilometers. We are with Namgyal Ji, the head of the Phyang Monastery, who is telling us about so many things to do with Buddhism. Namgyal Ji, आप कितने सालों से यहाँ हैं?
ऐसे तो मैं बचपन से जब छोटा लामा बनता है तो इसी गुम्पा में बनाया है। तो इसकी यहाँ हम 15 साल के आयु तक हम यहाँ छोटा लामा बना के यहाँ किसी गुरु के पास बैठे हैं।
They are here at a very young age to learn a different sort of knowledge. This is not knowledge which can be gained from books. This is deep knowledge about life, what really matters in life. Here in the monastery, they will learn from their gurus. In the Indian tradition, it is the guru who is most important. It is he who will show the path towards leading life in the right way.
ये हमारा छोटा यंग लामा है जिसको हम चुंजुंग कहते हैं। ये हर एक गांव से आया है। कुछ लोग लेह से है, कुछ लोग शुशोत से है, कुछ लोग उधर नुब्राविली दिगर से है और ये सामने कुछ लोग है ये दर्शिक गरकोन ये डोपा एरिया से है जो पुराने आर्य नस्ल का है।
Buddhism is actually for the inner discipline. It is not the worldly gains, because the outside world or sansara, which is called, it is somewhere it will trap you into their web. When we get into their web, then the life circle keeps on going, birth and death keeps on going. Buddhism stress over how to get out of that. So getting out of that, it is called the liberation. The deities are the innermost spiritual aspect or experience or subtle mind of the individual being. So it is how to cultivate that and how to identify and become one with that. Normally we misunderstand the term as a God. Sometimes we try to make it the God. When you call it the God, means that the creator who creates. So therefore in Buddhist perspective, that is absolutely invalid. So therefore we are using it as small g as a god or the deity.
Actually all the deities you find in Tantrayana, in Tibetan Buddhism, they are as you said, they are a form of different wisdoms, like compassion and wisdom and the power. So all these qualities, with the qualities of Buddhas, appeared in different forms, and then that is easier for practitioners to visualize.
We are in the Gongkhang, or the prayer room of the protective deities of Lama Yuru Monastery. And these are the wrathful protective deities. In Buddhism, this wrath is a wrath of compassion. It is the wrath with which we drive away the evil spirits of our ignorance. For ignorance is the only evil in Buddhism.
Mantras and blessings are written upon flags. These are placed on the roofs of houses and mountaintops, where the winds can take the blessings and carry them everywhere. It is thoughts of the divine which permeate every aspect and every action in the lives of the devout. All deeds are meant as offerings to the divine.
The people have put these khataks as a mark of honor and respect on the Sia bush. Sia means rose. This is the wild rose of Ladakh and of the entire Trans-Himalayan region. In the middle of the arid desert, this rose gives forth its abundant fragrance to the whole world. There is much to be learnt in the mountains. Perhaps this is one of the lessons we must learn of generosity. तो अंदर की पेंटिंग्स सब ठीक ठाक है ना?
ठीक है, फर्स्ट क्लास।
There are numerous temples, big and small, all over Ladakh. In 1997, when I came across this, Guru Lakhang in Old Phyang village, very close to Leh city, its walls were crumbling and the paintings inside were getting lost. Then, with the permission of Mr. Shering Narbu, the owner, I repaired this monastery structurally and saved it in 1998. The paintings inside of many deities are of about the 13th century. Such temples are part of the living cultural heritage of Ladakh. Murup Namgyal is the most popular traditional singer of Ladakh. More than that, he is a living treasure. He is a repository of the cultural traditions of Ladakh. Murup is going to tell us about the prayers which are taking place in his house just now.
ये जो मेरे घर में अभी पूजा चल रहा है, इसे हम सांस कहते हैं. सांस मीन प्यूरिफाई. तो ये पूजा हमारे लद्दाख के हर घर में 1 महीने में एक बार ज़रूर करते हैं. ये इसलिए करते हैं कि हमसे गलती आगे पीछे कुछ ना कुछ हो सकते हैं, अनजाने में भी हो सकते हैं, या पैर के नीचे कोई मक्खी वगैरह जो जानदार चीज़ हैं वो जा सकते हैं, या किसी की बुराई हम कर सकते हैं किसी अनजाने में. तो इसलिए हम माफ़ी मांगते हैं.
It is the wisdom and compassion of the Buddha which illuminates the lives of the people of these remote regions till today.
The many chortans that we see everywhere symbolize the living faith of the people. The name chortan is Tibetan for stupa, which comes from an early Indian tradition. In Buddhism, the stupa contains the relics of a holy teacher. It symbolizes the continuance of the dharma or the law of the Buddha.
The Buddhist beliefs of harmony and compassion remain deeply interwoven in the lives of the people of Kinnaur and Spiti till today. The knowledge and wisdom of the faith is passed on through the generations.
Even in changing times, the gentle traditions of Buddhism are continued by many. They cherish deeply the values which they have inherited over the centuries.
1974 में जब टूरिस्ट के लिए लद्दाख को खोल दिया गया, तब से लद्दाख में बहुत बड़ा चेंज हुआ. तरक्की तो ज़रूर हुआ, मगर हमने तरक्की से ज़्यादा आर्ट और कल्चर खो दिया. खोना मीन्स जो बोलचाल, जो रहन सहन हमारे लद्दाख में थे, वो ज़रा थोड़ा ख़त्म होने लगा है. अब लोग पढ़ाई तो ज़रूर करने लगा है, पढ़ाई तो कोई भी कर लेते हैं, मगर पढ़ाई के साथ साथ जो बुराइयां आने लगा हैं, वो मेरे ख़्याल में रिलीजियस में फेथ नहीं है, इसलिए बुराइयां आए थे. साइंस हम पढ़ाई करते हैं, अगर साथ साथ में अपना जो रिलीजियस है, बुद्धिस्ट का या मुस्लिम का हो, वो अगर पढ़ाते तो उसमें एक कंपैशन आ जाते हैं, प्यार मोहब्बत आ जाते हैं, तब हम बड़े अच्छे काम करते हैं. सोचते हैं कि मैं ही बड़ा बन जाऊं, मैं ही कार बना लूं, मैं ही बंगला बना लूं, अकेला मैं ही बड़ा सबसे अमीर हो जाऊं. तो वो ज़रा हमारे लद्दाख में आया है, वो ज़रा गंदा आया, अच्छा नहीं आया. तो कहते तो हैं कि तरक्की के साथ ऐसा होता है, मगर हमारे यहाँ थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है. अब आगे क्या होगा वो तो मैं नहीं बोल सकता हूँ. आज तक तो ऐसा ही हुआ है. हमारे जो बुज़ुर्ग थे वो तो बड़े प्यार से, बड़े मोहब्बत से, किसी को भी तकलीफ़ नहीं देते थे, बड़े शांति से और आराम से ज़िंदगी करते थे. और वो वाला आज भी हमारे बुज़ुर्ग लोग याद करते हैं. वो ज़माना आज से कोई 50-60 साल पहले हम बहुत याद करते हैं उस ज़माने को.
One is is inner growth, other is the outer manifestations. Since now economic and the financial resources are very available to them, so therefore everybody contributes for the development of the Buddhism and the Buddhist practices or Buddhist rituals. They spend substantial money, and also building temple and the monasteries, they really contribute, and everybody, the old temple has been renovated. Since many people are coming and going, they are talking about the Buddhism. But this knowing is outer manifestation. Today, though they are outwardly they are following Buddhism, they worship, they keep temples, they keep the statues or the photographs of the Buddha and Dalai Lama and many of the Buddhist masters in their houses now. But so far as understanding about the Buddhism seems now we are lacking now. Yes, in the Himalaya as such overall from the Ladakh to the Arunachal, Buddhism is flourishing now. It is on the account of the establishment as monasteries. Large number of the young people, they love to join the monks. Also because of the tourism, development of tourism, and also Government of India's initiative as such, every religion must be given equal opportunity to grow. All these things, the factors truly help them to grow the Buddhism. We need to give a more inner strength or inner boost now. That is needed. This is the result of the Western kind of a culture. Things become a matter of exhibition. So through this exhibition, they wanted to earn money. So therefore, this greed, which was un-Buddhistic, has unfortunately crept into the Buddhist tradition as well. So there are very few Milarepas today. So therefore, true Buddhism lies with Milarepas, who has renounced everything, simply living in the cotton cloth, living in the caves. So how many of them are there? Everybody loves to go out. Everybody loves to have a what do you call very high time and a very good life. And these Rinpoches, gradually they are becoming out of the reach of the common people. Similarly, sometimes it's very painful to say, Buddhism sometimes appears, if it is not given the inner boost, it will slip out of the hand. Because common people are not understanding it, where is the Buddhism, or what is true Buddhism and a Buddhist ideology is as such. Because the Buddhist is a way of life. If the way of life you are leading is if not proper, then it will take you to some wrong way. Then definitely it is going to lead you to doom. It will not liberate you. It will put into the wheel of the samsara, keep on roaming there.